Let's knit a blanket. Begin by casting on with some waste yarn and knitting a few rows with it. Now we switch to our first color. Remember to reset your row counter, and we're going to knit with this color for 33 rows. Reset back to 0, and now we switch to the second color. This time we are going to make 32 rows with the second color. Then switch back to the first color and again make 32 rows with that one. You'll make as many blocks as you want, switching colors after 32 rows of each until the panel is as long as you would like it to be. Make sure that the last block on the panel is a different color than the first. And on the last block we're again going to make 33 rows. Switch to waste yarn and knit a few rows with that. Then just continue turning until the panel comes off the machine. Once all your panels are done, now we are going to do 2 steps to each panel. First, to close the joins. So turn the panel inside out, and at each color change we're going to make a double knot, pulling not too tightly on the first knot to close it up. If the tails are very long, you can cut them a little, or you can leave them as it is. Now turn it back to the right side, and taking a crochet hook, we're going to begin closing. If the tail is pointing upwards, we're going to go first into that loop that's between the first and last stitch, and then in the loop that has the tail of the waste yarn, pull the tail of the main color through those 2 loops to finish off that stitch. Now beginning from the next stitch over, so the last one on the row, we're going to count back 23 stitches, and on the 23rd we'll pick it up with the hook and pull the next stitch through it. Then pull the next stitch on the first side through that one, and then the next stitch on the second side through that one, and go about like this, closing up the whole panel. When you reach the last stitch, just pull through that little tail to close it. And now you can remove the waste yarn. Then close up the other side of the panel, and here the tail is already facing downward, so we don't need to do that extra step. Repeat that for all the panels, closing first the color joins and then closing up the sides. Now to sew them together, we're going to match up one side with the tail to another panel of a different color without a tail. Take a needle and a nice long piece of yarn. And now match up 2 rows of V's going in the same direction. Then we're going to go into that little stubble that's in the middle of the V, pull through, tie the tail to the tail that's already on the panel, and then go through on the other panel in that V. Then into the V of the first panel, and then from the second, and so on. And this is how we're going to connect both panels together, going into the V's of each side. When you reach the top, make a little knot into itself while making sure that it is not pulled anywhere in the middle and it's nice and smooth all throughout. And then hide the tail inside the panel. You can hide inside any other tails that you have around too. So sew together almost all the panels that you have, and on the last one we're going to do it a little different. Since we don't want the color joints to be on the outside since they're a little visible, so this time it's going to be on the inside, on the place where we join. So we're going to match up a side with a tail to another side with a tail and sew them up together. Make sure to hide in any tails, and your blanket is all ready. I hope you enjoyed. All the best!